Walking into a room. Correct way and the wrong way. Correct way. With confidence, right to the person you're about to address. Tom. Brian Jones. Right there. Okay? One line. You can even start.
There you have it. Sad movie, but very good movie. My Life, Michael Keaton, back in 1993. Making a good entrance is one way to impress a prospective employer, and that's important because the latest government report shows jobs are scarcer than ever right now. So this morning, we've got some tips for that vital first interview from an expert, the author of Good in a Room. Stephanie Palmer joins us this morning. Folks, if you're at home right now, get a pen, get some paper, jot these things down because these are tips you can ill afford to not receive right now. You never get a second chance at a first impression, and that's what this is all about, right? Walk into that room, exude a little confidence, look good, firm handshake. Is that basically what we're talking about?
Well, it is. It is true that making a good first impression is something that you can't change. Basically, people, when they're meeting you for the first time, studies show that they will form an opinion of you, and no matter how hard you try, it's really hard to change. So you obviously want to make a positive first impression. All
right, we've got some tips for you. And tip number one, I love this, accept the water. Explain.
Basically, you want it to be positive. The first thing that you say in a meeting to be yes. So if someone offers you and says, can I get you some water? Say yes. Then you'll also have a prop in case they ask you a tough question or you need a moment to collect your thoughts. You simply reach over and take a sip.
Gives you a little time to formulate an answer, or hopefully it's a good answer, and you continue to impress. Tip number two is prepare dynamite questions. I think a lot of people would think it's probably best to just sit back and listen, but you're saying be a little bit more proactive. Go in there with a line of some pretty darn good questions.
Well, and that's the mistake that most people make. They think that an interview, their only job is to answer the questions. But the best thing that you can do is prepare some questions for the person that aren't generic, that aren't things that you could find out the answer on the internet, but something that is specific to that person and that company. Position yourself as an insider already, as someone who's in the business.
So go in there with a little bit of information. Be inquisitive, but don't be too programmed as though it looks as though you've got lists 1 through 10 and you're just trying to rattle through questions.
Yes, interrogation is definitely not the way to be good in a room.
Now, this is what I like. Look for common ground. When you're going in there, just make sure you're kind of scaling the room a little. If you see some golf trophies or something in a prospective employer's office, find some of that common ground. Establish a little, I guess, personal identity with the person.
Exactly. Do research ahead of time, but also when you're in the room, see if there's something that you have common ground, because if you can have a topic that you both share, a shared experience, like you're both parents or you both went to the same school, it's so much easier to have a more natural, connected conversation.